and looked him in the eye. He said, aren't you gonna beg? He said, no, I signed up to die. Death don't have a hold on me, so death don't put no fear in me. I don't think that you hearing me. To die. When I lay down on that bed, I'm gonna open up my eyes and my Lord gonna be signed up to die. Death don't have a hold on me, so death don't put no fear in me. I don't think that you hearing me. To die. 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 I signed up to die.
All right, family. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Stolen valor. This ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. But then again, it's me. It's me doing the video. But nevertheless, all right, I'm gonna get into how. Matter of fact, let me just get into it before I get into it. So we'll just get into it together. How about that? Let's do some definition. Let me see here. Okay, hold on. All right, y'all bear with me. I didn't do a long intro because the notification's been up since it's been up a while. All right, it's been up a while. Let's go right here. Let me see. All right, let's do the definition of valor. Okay, stolen valor. You know, this is something from what I've seen primarily Europeans are big on. You know, if they wasn't hypocritical, I wouldn't necessarily be saying that. But let's get into it. All right, it's a term for the act of a person falsely claiming military service, awards, or decorations they did not earn, typically to gain prestige, recognition, or material benefits. Some of y'all might be saying, where you going with that? Well, how is it they talk about a merit-based system? They talk about a merit-based system. But they always got some kind of rigging going in. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You got a draft dodging man in the 34-time convicted felon in the so-called head of the military. Think about that, family. Now, do you want someone? Think about what this means. So let me read this right quick. The president. Is the president the head of the U.S. military? I already knew, but I just gave this for the viewers. All right. And it said, yes, the president of the United States is the commander-in-chief. Right now, they over there, I call them the commander-in-thief. They go to war and look like they be stealing. Look like what they do in Venezuela right now. But nevertheless, of the U.S. Armed Forces, which include the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard. What about the so-called Space Force? Nevertheless, this role gives the president ultimate authority over military operations and decisions. Now, if you want to, you can type that in and you can do your own read. Okay, now, this man, let me just show you. How about that? We talking about, well, let me put a mug shot up here for y'all. There he is up there. There he is up there with his crown on. He got his so-called military badges on. And you got the replacement of a 4-star general for somebody less qualified. But they hollering all the while talking about a system of merit. Okay? What basically, now you got, I'm gonna get to Robert E. Lee in a minute. You see the black man covering him up. Don't sleep on that. The truth will cover up the lie. Well, it really destroys the lie. It will remove the lies. But they act like they are so powerful. And don't be ignorant. They are. But they always had to use us to accomplish what they have today. And I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna go into it. All right. Now let me show y'all what Trump is. Now let me go back over this VALOR. You gotta share my screen. Hold on, y'all. This stuff is laughable to me, though. It's laughable. Once your eyes is open, that's why they anti-woke. You know another definition for being asleep? Dead. Dead. And if you don't wake up before judgment, you're gonna be spiritually dead forever. All right, now, like I said, stolen valor is a term for the act of a person falsely claiming military service. In their case, they're not falsely claiming nothing. It's given to them. That's what white supremacy does. Awards or decorations they did not earn. How is Trump? How is he the commander in chief? And he ain't did no military. Now while I'm on him, let's get into his background. All right, let's get into his background. Let me find him right quick. Right here. Yeah. All right. Now, Trump's draft dodging. How you got a man that appears to be a coward running the government? You know what I see? I see money behind the president. That's what I see. I see the puppet as the president and the puppeteer with the money string, the purse strings, running things. Well, let me get it. It doesn't make logical sense, family. It doesn't make logical sense. Shalom, Kanaz, to have an unqualified draft dodging individual in charge of the whole military. It does not make logical sense. Think about it. You gonna go to war. You gonna go to war with somebody that their profession is basically a mechanic. All right, let's do you one better. Trump had all these failed businesses. He can't even command businesses without them going under. He can't command that, but people put him in charge of the government, of the money of this country, thinking they're gonna do better, and they surprised that the money ain't moneying, that it's going under. His own businesses was going under. He didn't want to pay folks, so you surprised he fired folks because they don't want to pay folks. When it's black folks, you hold us to our records, but when it's your own, it's DE lie. But let me get back into it. Unqualified draft dodging individual, commanding in charge of the whole U.S. military. Think about that, family. All right. If you put somebody in charge of a battalion, don't know what they're doing, the men, that's going to increase fear. That's going to increase casualties. It ain't going to be good. But yet, in this unmerited system, you can get a draft dodger, a criminal, confess groping of women, and put him in charge of the military. Talking about some morals and dignity. But let me get on to this. The draft dodging. You know, the president is in charge of the whole military. Okay, let's see his resume. After the Vietnam War, Donald Trump received 5 draft deferments. Boy, he just couldn't wait to run, which legally allowed him to avoid military service. The characterization of these actions as draft dodging is a subject of ongoing public and political debate, which critics alleging he used his family's wealth and connection to avoid service, while supporters maintain he followed the legal process available at the time. Slavery was once legal. White women killing slave babies was once legal. The Casual Killing Act. Just because it was legal don't make it right. Redlining was once legal. You understand? In eminent domain where they just have to go through black land for the interstates and for the hydroelectric dams. It's always 9 times out of 10 black folks land that gets eminent domain legal. Okay, now let me keep going. That go to timeline of the deferments. I'm gonna skip on down because I'm ranting. Okay, this is a, let me see this. I think this 4 student deferments, 64 to 68. Trump received 4 2S student deferments while attending Fordham University, then the Wharton School of University of Pennsylvania. This was a common method for young men of means to delay service enduring that area. I'm gonna pull up Ali right quick, see if I can find it. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna see because Ali was going in on him. Let's see. He was going in on him. Hold on. If I don't find it, just y'all, let me see, can I find that video? I played it before. Hold on. Oh, here it is, right here. Here it is. Hold on. Let me share my screen, y'all. Shalom, Jim, Brenda Hill, and those of you watching. Shalom. They stole our valor. I'm just going to give y'all a preview. They stole our valor by erasing us out the books. I'm going to get into the black soldiers in a minute. They stole that. See, yeah. But I'm going to get into that in a minute. Right now, I'm on Trump and Hick self. All right. Let me see here. Let me go back.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting.
Yeah, he going to go. They want to send him to go fight for America, and he ain't got no freedom right here. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah. Meanwhile, the same people that's grilling him right now is leaving the country, dodging the draft.
You, if I'm gonna die, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London, I'm not gonna help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm gonna die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm gonna die, you my enemy. My enemies are white people, not Vietnams or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home. I'm saying.
All right, let me see here. Tell him, Ali. All right, now he had a. This is Trump and his draft dodging. He dodged the draft. Now he's leading the military. Think about that. But they talking about ain't no white supremacy, ain't no racism. But let them have their system. Only time I got a problem, they start getting in our business, killing us. You understand? Because the Bible speaks of some of these things. But yeah, questionable diagnosis. The specific of bone spur diagnosis remain unclear. And no medical records or surgical documentation have been provided to the public. Remember, they was on Obama about some birth certificate. And I'm not taking up for Obama, sell out. You understand? But yeah, same thing, Trump. They say you're a draft dodger. Where them documents at? You want Obama to produce some documents? Where your paperwork at? You understand? All right. Reports from the New York Times suggested the diagnosis was provided by a podiatrist who rented office space in a building owned by Trump's father. Sounds like, I wasn't there. Sounds like, hey, I knock something off your rent. You get this paperwork popping. You put this paperwork in for my son. I knock something off your rent. Not saying he did it, but it's a possibility. You understand? As a favor, the podiatrist's daughters have confirmed. Look, the doctor's daughter confirmed this account. This is the New York Times. See, when major publications print stuff like this, when they do stuff like this, they in danger of being sued for slander. You understand? But yeah. But let me keep going. The draft dodger now in charge of the military. And what he do when he get in there, he caters to his base. I mean, you know, removing black soldiers. Y'all know I done videos about we should stay out of their army, but I know we got, you know, some people can't make no money. I know. But yeah. Look at here. Black soldiers removed from Memorial Park. Let me go over here right quick. Hold on. Let me see, is there some videos or something? Hold on. Let me see, is it a video? Let's see what this got. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear that. I'm going to turn it up. Let me see. I'm going to wind it back and turn it up.
On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, World War I came to an end with the signing of an armistice in a railroad car in France in 1918. Now, every year on November 11th, America honors the veterans who served their country in the armed forces. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. In 1918, the president was a Democrat named Woodrow Wilson, who resegregated the military. In 2025, the president is a Republican named Donald Trump, who just removed plaques honoring black soldiers from a U.S. military cemetery in the Netherlands. It's part of...
Now, remember last night I did a video of how racist the people in the Netherlands are. That's their country, right? That's how I look at it. The Netherlands is their country. If they want them black soldiers to be remembered for fighting to help them, that's their right. They are a sovereign country. How you gonna let Donald Trump come to your country and take down something? Well, you said maybe they own the property. Well, they can put it up somewhere else. Ain't no excuse. These folks was participating in the slave trade. They mocked black folks. I covered it last night in that video. Same people. They put on blackface and Satan claws, and they walking around looking like demons and devils. You understand? That's why I was saying stay out of their wars. But nevertheless.
Military. In 2025, the president is a Republican named Donald Trump, who just removed plaques honoring black soldiers from a U.S. military cemetery in the Netherlands. It's part of a disturbing pattern from this administration of purging black generals, burying black history.
You see that? Purging black generals. You know, the generals ought to be getting together teaching our people. You understand? But we'll see.
Promoting white lies.
That's what the white supremacists do. They join the military to go teach their fellow Klansmen, their fellow neo-Nazis. That's what they do. I've covered it before.
But black freedom fighters will not be erased. From the 1st Rhode Island Regiment.
I didn't heard enough. You hear me? Let's see what else Trump doing. I mean, you can't expect a devil to do nothing but be a devil. Trump directed lead to U.S. Army removal of mega ever other black veterans' accomplishment. They still in the valor. Let's go to the definition of valor. All right. Great courage. No, they're going to erase the courage of our people. Bravery and strength of spirit. While Trump is running to tear the door down, while he was running from the fight, our people was running to the fight. And the same one running is doing the erasing. Y'all see how that works? Yeah. All right. Great courage, bravery, and strength of spirit in the face of danger, adversity, or great challenges. The more we fight, the stronger we get. See, often used in military context for heroic acts but also applies to leadership, education, and other brand names. All right, let's get back over here to this. Lost my place. Okay, right here. Trump directors lead the U.S. Army removal of Medgar Evers and other. They don't want you. See, contrary to what many black folks believe. Let me look at the thumbnail right quick. If we was free, we'd have our own cities. We'd have our own government, just like that's what the Bible speaks of restoration, to put back to the original form. You'd be free to govern yourself. You don't have to go to them for nothing. You'd have your own land, your own laws, your own people, just like before. That's why the Bible said Daniel 7, making war against the saints until the Ancient of Days come. Let's go to that Bible verse right quick. Daniel chapter 7. Let me see here. Daniel chapter 7. I'm gonna look up a Bible right quick. We ain't free. We ain't free. The Bible said we ain't free. Now, if you think you're free, I ain't here to argue with you. I just want you to see this part. You got a little liberty. You understand? But you ain't. Anytime these folks can make up a law and take your land, you ain't free. Okay? 7:23. All right. Okay, let me go up here. All right, let's go right here, because we in the end. This fourth beast is still Roman kingdom. All right. This is Daniel. He's having visions and dreams. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth was of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. They done went all over the earth just colonizing, breaking in pieces, and trampling down people in any opposition. And the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which one come up, and before whom 3 fell, even that horn that had eyes and a mouth which spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I'm sorry. I beheld, and at the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. This Roman beast is making war with the Most High's chosen. This ain't talking about no Christian that the Roman Catholics created. All right? And prevail against them for how long? Until the Ancient of Days come. Have the Ancient of Days showed up yet? Now, if the Ancient of Days have showed up yet, I want y'all to pay attention. If the Most High done showed up yet, if he done made judgment, put a 1 in the chat. If he have not made judgment yet, put a 2 in the chat. I want to see if you're listening. This fourth beast gonna be making war against the Israelites and prevailing until the Most High pass judgment. Are they still making war against us? Oh, y'all can't see that. Are they still making war against us? Huh? Are they still making war against us? Type a 2 in there if they still making war against us. And if not, type a 1. Let me move on. Maybe y'all ain't typing fast enough. Maybe y'all thinking I ain't gonna put your comments up there. I just want but anyway, let me see somebody. Okay. All right, got you. All right, now. All right, I got you. Yeah, you gotta learn that. Yeah, you gotta go slow a little bit. It ain't gonna do nothing but strengthen your mind. That's all. I ain't trying to trick you. I ain't trying to, I don't do that. But anyway, all right, now. So the Ancient of Days have not came. That's how you know that we are still in captivity. The war still going on. I'll be here. Look. Let me go back up here since I didn't show it. I would know the truth about the fourth beast, which was different from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were iron, nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamp the residue with his feet. All right, let me skip down here. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Babylon the Great is falling. When you get over there in Revelation, okay, when you see the 1,000-year peace, reparations or not, everything gonna go into our possession. Reparations or not, everything gonna go into our possession. Here it is in the script. Until the Ancient of Days come, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. All right. And thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be different from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. Colonization. And shall tread it down and break it in pieces. All right. And right now, as we come to ourselves and remember the Most High, we cleaning up these lies. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. This beast, this Roman beast, this fourth beast is speaking words against the Most High. This false gospel, this spiritual Israel that ain't nowhere in Scripture. Where in Scripture does it say a spiritual Israel? When you read up here that it's going to be war going on until the Most High make judgment and put a stop to it. Huh? All right. Let me get back. All right. Let me see where I'm gonna go now. So don't worry about it. Let them make war. Let them make war. Remember, the Most High said, "Come out from among them and be separate." They separating us from them. That's a blessing in disguise. You understand? They separating. I mean, you got to be comatose if you feel motivated to fight for people like this. Let's get into this black. Let's get into these black soldiers. How about that? You got to be comatose, graveyard dead, doorknob down. All right, let's see. If you wanna fight for, you wanna stand and defend some stuff like you. At this point, you're a traitor. Or you borderline treacherous. I know some people don't know. I learned this stuff late. But yeah, boy, yeah, you fighting for your own oppression. All right, now, black soldiers honored decades after death. What good is that, y'all? What good is that? What good is that? When they was alive, when they was fighting, risking their lives for Massa's plantation, you couldn't honor them. You couldn't honor them then. Then they come home and get lynched by the Klan in their uniforms, over there fighting for rights for whites that we ain't got right here. That's what Ali was talking about. Matter of fact, let me play that brother again. Fight for rights that he ain't got right here. Let's play it again.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Vietnams or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Tell him, Ali. All right, now, okay. Black soldiers have been honored decades after their death through posthumous medals. Ain't worth a quarter. How about you break bread with their family then? How about that? They family gonna need money to live over here in this racist system. How about you break bread with their family? Do that. All right. Corrected records. Lies. You see what I'm saying? And belated military funerals. You ain't even getting a funeral. Just think about that. Trump just bold with it. He up front with his racism. Okay, you can see him coming. See what I'm saying? You see him coming. He telling you what he's about. He's walking what he's talking, even though he's a liar. But you see his fruit. You want somebody in there like Sleepy Joe Biden that's lying to you and doing the same thing. Camouflaging the hatred. Y'all want the camouflage hatred. Okay? But we gonna be all right. You said they're gonna be making war and overcoming us. That's why we got to know this stuff. That's why they don't want us talking and communicating and doing videos and teaching. So we can stay ignorant and they can stay hidden and we keep going. But nevertheless, all right now. Medal of Honor recipients, 97, 7 black soldiers, including Vernon Baker, finally received it. I'd have told them, I wouldn't even went. But nevertheless, I ain't gonna knock them for going whatever they did. I ain't gonna knock them. But there you go. They still in the valor. They ain't recognizing the courage while they living. Or they don't recognize their courage till about 40 years too late. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't recognizing the courage. They still in the valor, not even recognizing it. All right, let's go to another one. Why the U.S. refused black men as soldiers? Now I want y'all to see this lie. I'm gonna read it slow. I want y'all to see this lie. I immediately picked up on this. Okay. The U.S. initially refused black men as soldiers due to racist belief about their inferiority. Federal laws like the 1792 Militia Act, barring them from service, and political fears, accepting them would alienate slave-holding border states. You know why I think they did that? They didn't want the slaves getting weapons. Right now, off the books, it's illegal for black folks to defend ourselves. Y'all remember, what's this guy name that defended himself against them 2 white guys and stabbed one of them? What's his name? I can't think of his name. He got the same name as an NBA player, ex-NBA player, Carmelo Anthony. If you look, every time a black person defend themselves, they try to lock them up. They try to lock us up. I don't care. Lock me up, doggone. I'm gonna try to put one of you devils in the dirt. If you want to live, leave me alone. Stay out my business. Leave me alone, and we'll get along great. You kill me, I'm gonna send you heathens a message. That's what I'm gonna do. Everybody ain't worried about that. We know what it is. Once you know how the devil operate, you probably gonna be dead either way. You might as well take one of these devils with you. And what that does is tell them heathens to get down, sit down somewhere. Because all of us ain't going for it. That's what that tells them. But nevertheless, all right, now. That's why I think they come up with that act. Remember, 1777, 1776. If y'all help us get our freedom, we gonna freeze y'all. Black folks helped them win the Revolutionary War, and they went right back out there in them fields. Get y'all Negroes, y'all niggas, get back out there, pick that cotton, get that tobacco, go out there and get that rice and sugar cane. Yeah. I think that's why. And Negroes were fighting the whole time. It was slave revolts everywhere. Everywhere. Why you think they eventually got rid of it? They ain't, what you expect them to put that in the book? Huh? But let me keep going. Why U.S. refused black men as soldiers? Because they were cowards. Let's see. The U.S. initially refused black men as soldiers due to deep-seated racism. Basically the same thing. That's the same thing. Okay. But I heard the lie. They didn't want they black men was cowards. You know how that's a lie? You know how that was you know why that was a lie? That they didn't want black men in the army because black men was cowards. We done fought in every war they ever had. How you gonna be a coward and fight in every war they got? It don't make sense. Okay? Either you're a coward or you ain't. All right, let me keep going. All right. Has black Americans fought in every war the USA ever had? It says yes. Black Americans have served in every war the U.S. has fought. but you cowards though. From the Revolutionary War through to the present day, often facing segregation and discrimination, and this is what we're getting. And you surprised Trump doing what he's doing. They've been doing it the whole time. I mean, think about it. They keep doing it and we keep fighting. They keep doing it and we keep fighting. They keep doing it and we keep fighting. I mean, what should we expect? All right, now, while fighting for liberty at home and abroad, demonstrating courage in conflicts from the Civil War to Iraq and Afghanistan. And here go a list: Revolutionary War, War of 1812, Civil War, Spanish-American War, World War I and II, Korean War, Vietnam War. Every time you look around, they're in a war. Remember Daniel, trampling down the nations and breaking everything, but that's coming to an end. Let me move on. Let me go. I'm gonna go to Maccabees later. Now, have y'all ever heard? Y'all ever heard General Lee? His they was forcing black folks to fight for him. Y'all ever heard of that? Well, let me get on into it. All right. Why did General Lee kidnap slaves to fight in Civil War? They said he didn't do it, but his soldiers did it. Let me see here. It said Robert. This is the Confederate general now. It said he didn't kidnap slaves to fight for the Confederacy. Rather, in the war's final moment, he controversially supported a plan to enlist enslaved people into the Confederate. I thought y'all was supreme. Supreme, you don't need nobody. You can do it yourself. You understand? If you're cowards, why are you enlisting them? You inferior, why are you enlisting them? They incompetent, right? Why are you enlisting them? I just want y'all to learn to read through the line. Now let me see here. It's one of them. I just want to read right quick. Now here go another one. It's basically the same question. I'm just the computer. I'm just learning to ask the same question a different way because I know the computer line. I know the history. You see what I'm saying? See that? It's basically the same question, but it said he didn't personally. But this is slightly different, and this is the encyclopedia. Hold on, probably shouldn't let me go back. All right, now let me slow down. But his officers did during campaigns like so. In other words, Robert E. Lee didn't kidnap and force black folks to fight for the Confederates to stay enslaved, but his officers did. So what you saying? You ain't got control over your officers, or they know you good with it. You understand? Now look at it on a civilian level. Now, I know I go to somebody's yard and they done kidnap some people in the yard. And let me do it like this. Somebody I know brings some kidnapped people to my house. I didn't kidnap them. But they gonna arrest me if they find out them people there and I didn't report it. And you knew they were slaves because they black. They gonna hit me with accessory and kidnapping. So you got to use that same law, that same logic, that same judgment on them. They really lying. But his officers kidnapped black folks and forced them to fight. Boy, I wonder how many Negroes shot them instead. I know some of them did. But nevertheless, but yeah, Robert E. Lee didn't personally kidnap black people, but his officers did during campaigns like Gettysburg, forcing free blacks into slavery as kidnapping out of retaliation for a desire for labor. Soldiers, no, you're too lazy. You can't do your own work. You can't fight your own wars. So you're gonna go get Negroes. That's what your actions really did. reflecting the Confederates' reliance on slavery and Lee's own contradictory stance. All right. Let me move on. Let me move on. I'm just showing you. Let me read these Bible verses. And then I'm going to be out. Oh, hold on. I forgot about Hexel. Now, they trying to get the swastika. They trying to loosen up on white supremacy. See that? They tried it, but it was a so-called uproar, as they said. Trump's Coast Guard backtracks on swastika policy after uproar. All right, the U.S. Coast Guard has reversed course on its controversial move to reclassify the Nazi-era swastika insignia and nooses as divisive. They trying to reclassify white supremacists, Nazi signals and nooses as potentially divisive. It's symbols of hatred. All right, but let me move on. Just showing you what the devil doing, what they doing. Now, let me show y'all this first. I thought this was interesting. All right. The reason Pete Hegseth dresses like a frat house pledge instead of like our former secretaries of defense is because his military uniform would display exactly how unqualified he is for the job. Y'all see all them bars over there on them generals? See all them bars right there? See all that? Decorated officers. You go to digging into his service, you're going to see what he, as a matter of fact, you're going to see what he ain't did. Hold on. But yeah. Minnesota National Guard, Guantanamo Bay Naval Base. Yeah. He ain't really been in no war, but anyway, me go on. Oh, y'all can't see that. Hold on. It just his credentials. You got a president that's never been in war. President never been in war, that dodged the draft, and a less qualified general, and a less qualified general. But hey, let them do what they do. Now, y'all see this right here? This is Latin. This is Latin. This is Romans. But nevertheless, let me move on. I'm just checking my notes, making sure I ain't. Trump's replacement for 4-star General Lloyd Austin, 44-year-old anti-woke veteran and former Fox host. This ain't gonna end well for it. Ain't gonna end well. Now, this is something else they're doing. See, they forcing black folks out. That's good. That's good. We don't need to be fighting. We've been fighting for our own oppression since we've been here. They think they hurting us. The Most High doing it. You know, black men got to be getting razor bumps from shaving. They don't want you to have a beard. The Most High told us not to shave our beard off. I know I can't really grow one, but I try to do what I can do. But yeah. They getting rid of the black soldiers. Oh, let me get to these Bible verses. Hold on. Let me see y'all comments. All right. Let me get to these Bible verses. Hold on, y'all. Oh, it's already sharing. Now, I wrote down some Bible verses. I'm going to go out on this. Some manly men and how our people was courageous. I'm gonna end it with the woman with the 7 sons that rather die that be disobedient to the Most High. All right, then I'm gonna end. Let me see how long I've been going. Okay. All right. Let me see here. All right. Let's see here. Second Maccabees chapter 7 verse 20. This is the Greek captivity. Okay. Let me just read all this. This is the mother with the 7 sons. Second Maccabees chapter 7. I'm gonna read the whole thing. All right. Let me slow roll this. Because this right here, we need to know this type of stuff. We need to know what kind of people we come from. All right. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh and were tormented with scourges and whips. Sound like slavery, don't it? But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldst thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our father. Verse 3. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spoke first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body, and the rest of his brethren and mother looking on. Just like slavery. Hang you up on a tree, put a fire up on you, start cutting your limbs off, mutilating you. The same people. Let me keep going. Verse 5. Now, when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus. See, while one of the brothers and the mother's son is being tortured in front of them, they are exhorting one another, telling them to be strong. Be strong. Keep the faith. See, and Yahweh God looketh, the Lord God looketh upon us, and in truth have comfort in us. As Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. All right. So when the first was dead, after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. Oh, they thought they done put fear in him now. See, and when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, and they talk about Indian scalping folks. They talking about the natives were savages. It's them. It's them. And I told y'all before, my grandmama and them come from this land. My granddaddy come from Africa. My grandmama and them was already on this land. I told y'all before. Let me keep going. All right. Talking about some scalping and some savages. Right here, they pull off the skin of his head with their hair. They ask him, will thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of your body? You gonna eat this swine? If not, we finna kill you. We gonna torture you. All right, but he answered in his own language and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou, like a fury, takest us out of this present life, but the king of this world shall raise us up who have died for his laws unto everlasting life. After him was the third made a mocking stock. Mocking stock. Some of us scared to be mocked. See, we done got soft. Some of us worried about what people gonna say about us. You know, you got to admit where you're at, so you can see where you're at in the mirror, and then your path will be clearer. But let's go. Verse 11. And he said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them. Hold on, let me see. I'm reading something. Okay. And after him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully. In other words, he wasn't hesitating. He wasn't hesitating, okay? And said courageously, these I had from heaven. He had his tongue and his hand. And for his laws, I despise them. And for the laws, he despised his hands and his tongue for the Most High law. See that? And from him I hope and receive them again. Inasmuch that the king and they that were with him marvel at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded his pain. He ain't thinking about the pain. He thinking about the Most High. All right. Now, when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men to look for hope from Yah to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. Afterward, they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Darn barbarians. We got black folks, they done took this out the Bible. We got black folks running around thinking they Greeks. But nevertheless, that's why we do what we do. We bring the light, we bring clarity. All right. Then looked he unto the king and said, thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible. Thou dost what thou wilt. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of Yah. The Most High ain't forgot about us. It's in the word. Once you understand the word, you know the word, and you see what's going on, we right on schedule. See? Okay. Some of us gonna die, it's in the word. Some of us die for colors, red or blue. Some of us die for women. We go out here and risk our lives for women or men, sleeping around with people's wives and husbands. You'll die for that. But the Most High, you won't die for the Most High, huh? I'm just, let me keep going. But abide a while, and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed. He said, keep living. The Most High gonna torture you and your seed. Somebody got inside knowledge on the future. Okay. After him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause. For we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God. Therefore, marvelous things are done unto us. Daniel wrote about this. Moses wrote about this. The Messiah wrote about this. Is before the Messiah. Okay? But let me keep going. All right. But think not thou that taketh in hand to strive against Yah, that thou shalt escape unpunished. You see these heathens out here doing all this wickedness to us, they are not getting away unpunished. They scared now. They scared now. All right, let me keep going. If you got your stuff together, why you scared? Huh? All right, but the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with good courage because of the hope that she had in Yah. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. I didn't put you in I don't know how you got in my womb. I don't know how the Most High did that. I didn't give you breath. I didn't give you life. I didn't form your members. I didn't form your body. Think about that right quick. You don't get to choose your parents. You don't get to choose your DNA. You don't get to choose your eye color, your height. The Most High chooses that. Before I formed thee in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah chapter 1. Let's keep going. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again. He gave it once, he'll give it again. As ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. You know, people, let me use this. You know, people go out here reckless, you know, do dumb stuff, putting their life on the line, right? How much more if we should have to not regard our life for the Most High? We want to be careful when it comes to the Most High. We got to renew that mind. See, I did a lot of reckless things, and I'm surprised I'm still alive. So I shouldn't be scared when I know that I'm doing the Most High's will and work. I shouldn't be worried about no death. When I wasn't worried about death, when I was out here living for myself. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right. And according to your faith, be it unto you. There's also Bible verses that say, pray that ye be able to escape. But if you ain't living righteous and holy and pure, you ain't going to escape. Okay? Walk the word. All right, now. As ye now regard not your own lives for his law's sake. Now, Antiochus, this is that's that wicked root. All right. Now, Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, so they didn't understand the Hebrew she was speaking. All right. If it was, he would have known. Because he wouldn't have had to think. He'd have knew. Thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech while the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by word, but also assured him with oath that he would make him both a rich and a happy man if he would turn from the laws of his father, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. Now, so the king, he mad. Ain't nobody bending and bowing and kowtowing. He trying to get the last son to sell out. Talking about he gonna be his friend. You couldn't be my friend. You done killed my family. You ain't nothing to talk about. Look, let me read it again. Now, Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, while the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oath, making promises that he would make him both a rich and happy man if he would turn from the laws of his father, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. Now, I'm gonna tell you something else. You kill somebody close to somebody, that'll backfire on you. I'm a living witness. I lost people close to me, and I wasn't worried about no dying. It just, the Most High just put a hedge around me, and I didn't do nothing stupid, and didn't get killed. I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody die close to you, and you really love them. Some people ain't gonna want to live. You might well go on and kill them. I know because I've lived it. And I had to keep those thoughts in check. My brother died on my birthday. My mother died on Christmas Eve, 1994. And my baby sister. So yeah, I got reason not to worry about no holidays and birthdays. I mean, I'm thankful I see another year, but I had to keep those thoughts in the captivity into the word of the Most High. All right, because I ain't going back. But let me keep going. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. Now he's trying to get to the mother, trying to pull on them heartstrings. And I think maybe, yeah, but yeah, he's trying to get the mother he trying to turn the mother. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. But she bowed herself toward him, laughing. The cruel tyrant to scorn spake in her country language on this manner: O my son, have pity upon me that I bear thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. Now, This is a side note. He was on the breast. Let me see. What did it say? I have pity on me. 9 months in the womb and gave thee such 3 years and nourished thee. Now that seems like I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on that. It seemed like back in the old days, they didn't wean them till after 3 years. I might do a little bit more. Y'all correct me on that. And brought thee up into this age and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth and all that is in therein, and consider that Yah made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death. She's instructing her son. Don't worry about, don't fear this tormentor. But being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. Yeah, because you know something, if you go against the Most High's commandment, yeah, hell bound. But nevertheless, if you endure to the end, you shall be saved. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for? What you waiting on? What you waiting on? I will not obey the king's commandment. He start torturing, get to killing. What you waiting on? But I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of Yah, for we suffer because of our sins. And though the living Lord be angry with us for a little while, for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants. Also, he didn't spare the Messiah. He didn't spare the Messiah. The Messiah said, follow him. But thou, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of Yah. For thou have not yet escaped the judgment of Almighty Yah, whom seeth all things. For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under Yah's covenant of everlasting life, but thou through the judgment of Yah shalt receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, as for my brethren, offered up my body and my life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching Yah that he would speedily be merciful to our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is God. And that in me and my brethren, the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease. Then the king, being in a rage, handed him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he was mocked. So this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Lord. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and extreme torture. Our people died because they didn't want to keep Caesar's feast. You understand, family? You understand? But all right, family. I just want to read. I read that the Most High didn't promise none of us wasn't gonna die. You see the word, but he gonna give us strength. We're gonna have to rest in him. You're gonna have to be holy. Sometimes death come upon us because we are wicked, because we are rebellious, because we've backslid. That's what brings us that judgment. See. All right, family. Shalom.
about your goodness, Yahshua, and what you've done for me. Oh, I don't deserve anything you've done for me, and I don't deserve that you laid your life for me. Over and over, I let you down. Over and over, you stayed around. Unconditionally, you keep on loving me, loving me. That's why you are so holy. That's why you are holy. That's why you are holy. Oh yeah, you are holy. I'm calling you Yah. You are Yah the mighty. Heaven ain't going to heaven, You better watch your mouth when you're talking about who it is you reppin'. There are crazy people who seduce you for your soul. Everything that glitters don't always turn to gold. Whoa. Sometimes it's hard to believe when you're going through it. Trying to give my very best, so I'm trying to keep the faith. I know you got my back, I don't have to worry. You don't ever sleep, 'cause you are holy. You are holy. You are holy. You are holy. And you're oh so almighty. You are so beautiful. You're Alpha and Omega, beginning